Beyblade is a game of weights, where every Beyblade evolution you start off with a tiny plastic top and you end up with a giant metal massive monster weighing over 100 grams at the end of it. So in today's video, we're going to be doing Beyblade battles, but every battle the Beyblades get heavier and heavier. First off, Acid Anubis at about 35 grams versus Storm Spriggan Knuckle Iron. Very nice double burst there. We're going to do a second round. And so even with the Beys not being extremely heavy, you can see that they're still very fast. But as we go up in weight, obviously we're going to see less and less bursts and a lot harder hits. Next up is Nightmare Longinus at 43 grams, jumping up in weight against Legend Spriggan. It almost KO'd Longinus right there. I'm surprised Spriggan hasn't burst yet. But it is in clockwise mode, which is a lot harder to burst. Even now, the Beys are a lot slower, the hits are a lot harder, and Longinus takes the outspin. Yeah, that's... okay. That's kind of what we expected, Longinus to completely destroy Spriggan. And now, going up in weight, we have Emperor Fornius, the classic metal defense type, at 48 grams against Buster Excalibur. So right there, much harder hits. Fornius gets a nice KO. Another burst finish. You can see the hits are much harder, especially when you add metal on the Beys. So jumping up slightly in weight, we have Geist Fafnir at 51 grams going up against Turbo Achilles, which actually might be a bit heavier than Fafnir. Achilles counters the Absorb Break with one burst stopper out. Fafnir staying in this time. And so the hits, obviously, when we started off with something like Spriggan, they were much heavier, or they were much lighter, and now they're much heavier. So this time, really jumping up in weight, Union Achilles at 60 grams, huge jump in weight against Prime Apocalypse. Nice KO, nice upper attack. Achilles did almost burst there, which is unfortunate for Apocalypse because Apocalypse cannot burst. The retreat's about to happen. There we go. Achilles will probably take the outspin here. And yep, Achilles outspinning. Now jumping up higher in weight, we have Rage Longinus. Rage Longinus jumping up in weight at about 70 grams, a 10 gram jump in weight, which is a huge difference. It's like an entire series, which this is sparking against GT previously, and its opponent is Brave Valkyrie. It KO'd Valkyrie and it came back in. See, now the difference is so obvious because the Beys hit so much harder and they're so big that they come back into the pocket, where like older Beys are so much smaller that they'll get knocked out and not come back in. Now they're so big that they can come back in. We actually get a burst finish with Brave Valkyrie there, a dash driver. We rarely ever see that happen. A sparking Bey, a burst finish. That's insane. Almost to the last jump in weight, we have Guilty Longinus, another Longinus going up against Ultimate Valkyrie, another Valkyrie. Again, Guilty Longinus is at 77 grams, so a bit heavier. Valkyrie actually pulls off the KO without getting any clicks on it. The Beys, obviously, as you can see, hit much harder as they get heavier, as I've been saying. You can hear the actual metal like clashing on them. That's how heavy they are. Starting off at 36 grams, and now we're at 77 grams. We're not even here at the end yet. And Longinus takes the outspin, the Valkyrie getting 1 click. And the final jump in weight, this isn't even the heaviest one, but I believe this is the heaviest stock combination I have. Perfect Divine Belial at 87 grams. Now, the heaviest combination in Beyblade is actually probably something like Gatling Excalibur with the DB version. Gatling Excalibur with the 4 armors, probably the heaviest armor, with Nexus plus S and High Charge Dash, which that should break 90 grams, so it's insane that we can actually break 90 grams by doing this. To make one small change, we added the L gear instead of the H gear, which should add a little bit more weight. We're actually at about, okay, 87 grams, same difference, but we're going to be battling against Cyclone Ragnarok. Very easy Dynamite Battle Day. And now it's like so heavy that it can't even move straight. It just inclines. Like you can hear the actual, like how thick it is. Look at how big it is compared to like Spriggan's from before. Where do we put that? And of course, Ragnarok actually gets the outspin because this driver does have a tendency to scrape, but like, compare how we started. Like, look at this. Look at this. How like, you can fit Spriggan on top and it'll still, like, be able to fit. Like, it's... Look at the difference. It's like... They're so much bigger than they were before, and they're so much heavier, so it's just very interesting to see how big they are, how much harder they hit, the heavier they get. And that's the extent of today, what we tried out. We got really nice battles. We got to see how the Beys got much harder to hitting and as they got heavier, and even slower to some extent. And that'll be it for today. Subscribe if you enjoyed, and don't forget to keep on blading.